Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the earnings conference call of Inditrade Capital to discuss the Q1 FY22 results of the company. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, promoter of the group. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Good afternoon, all investors who have joined this call now. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us today here. I'll very briefly talk about Q1. The presentation has already been uploaded in the BSE site, and I'm sure many of you have already accessed this. As you are aware, our main lending businesses, principal lending businesses are agri-commodity lending, MSME finance, microfinance, and micro-lending, digital micro-lending. We also have smaller businesses, insurance broking, as well as Scalerator and Boonbox. Investors attending the call on a regular basis are familiar with almost all the businesses. We today have footprint in 13 states and we are growing. Our lending partners are State Bank of India, PNB, HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank, Jana Commercial Bank, IDFC First Bank, Dhanlaxmi Bank, and amongst the large institutions are NABARD and SIDBI. Out of the non-bank lenders, Oiko Credit, Arohan, Mass, Habitat, and others. We have done securitization, DA or PTC transactions with Poonawalla Finance, Belstar, and Mass. Before I dive into the Q1 update, I'll just like to briefly take you through the scenario which was unfolding during Q1 in India. I will divide this into background, consequences, result, challenges in our agri-business, which was unique, and the way forward. As far as the background is concerned, different states started imposing strict lockdowns, restricting, amongst others, movement of people from early April 21. By the end of April 21, almost all states where we operate were under strict lockdowns, which included restriction of movement of people. In fact, our microfinance, NBFC, and insurance business, though they came under essential services category, since movement of our staff and customer meetings were almost impossible from mid-April till mid-June 21, the businesses did suffer. Restrictions started getting gradually lifted from mid-June. Even now, there are remnants of restrictions in few states where we operate, including Kerala, Maharashtra, and Odisha. Now, consequences of all these restrictions on movement of people resulted in almost complete stop of collection in microfinance business. All of you will remember that in microfinance, the collections happen when our representatives meet our borrowers on a fortnightly basis. It also resulted in inability to deliver goods to customers in case of Boonbox, which is into rural e-commerce, and our inability to hold customer meetings and carry out customer interactions in our insurance segments. You all may be aware that our focus is on venue-based insurance selling, where we invite customers to our offices, we meet them, we explain them, and we do financial planning, and after that their insurance requirements are identified. The lockdown prevented these customers' meetings from happening. Overall collapse of business and economic activities led to stoppage of all disbursals from almost all lenders. This affected our business of Inditrade Scalerator, which essentially is a customer-focused organization which arranges financial products and services for customers. Uncertainties and the ferocity of the second wave also made us take a step back and become risk averse. And in fact, even we stopped all fresh lending since mid-April in our multiple business segments, MSME, RoboCash, microfinance and agri-finance. Now all this resulted in almost no business in Boombox and Scalerator during the last quarter, extremely inadequate collections in microfinance, and consequent upon no disbursals, significantly depleted book size in our all lending segments. Now these were expected. However, what happened in agri commodity was kind of unexpected even in a pandemic scenario. While the entire economy was reeling under influence of second wave, agri commodity prices shot through the roof and reached almost 10-year highs. Now at such elevated price levels, we took a conscious call of not increasing any exposure in our agri book. You will obviously realize that we didn't want to take risk at such a high valuation of financing against commodities. Afterwards, suddenly, the government imposed stock limits on various commodities, obviously with the intention to control speculation, which led to massive disruption in the market and made us exit our position in some cases. Now, all this is about the Q1. We are in the midst of Q2 now, and I think I will briefly touch upon the way forward as far as the way we see it. Since mid-June 21, the economy has been opening up gradually with progressive reduction in restrictions on movement of goods and people. Except Kerala and to an extent Maharashtra and Odisha, things have almost come back to normal. With opening of the economy, all our businesses are limping back to normalcy. We have restarted lending in all segments. All leading banks, NBFCs and institutions have also started disbursals, making availability of funds relatively easier. On-ground collections are improving and physical meetings with customers are happening in our multiple business segments like microfinance, Boombox, insurance. Agri-commodity prices are stabilizing, and with fresh Kharif arrival round the corner, relaxation of earlier imposed stock limits also happening, things should improve. We expect fresh funding opportunities to emerge in the near future in agri segment when the Kharif arrivals start in a full swing. We also did an exercise in right sizing our organization as far as microfinance business is concerned during Q1 to bring down costs. And the way things are, subject to no further waves hitting the country, we are optimistic about business performance during Q2 and the rest of the year. Briefly, the financial performance. Our AUM stands at 333.27 crore as on 30th June 21. The balance sheet size as on 30th June is 467 crores. Gross total income in Q1 was 32 crores. Profit before tax stands at 1.2 crore. As far as vis-a-vis last year, if we compare last year, we ended with a PBT of 12.5 crore for the full year. Balance sheet I've already talked about. As far as portfolio performance is concerned, as I mentioned, we did very little lending during the quarter, and at the end of the quarter, we ended up with a 333 crores of AUM. Our PBT I mentioned 1.2 crore. Our gross total income was 32.9. The segment-wise average cost of borrowing, which I think is of some interest to all of you, in microfinance it's 12.36, MSME is 11.25, and agri is 8.32. It's coming down, and we are hopeful of bringing down the cost of borrowing even further unless the interest rates start moving up in the economy very soon. On the provisions and portfolio, as far as MSME is concerned, the gross NPA end of quarter was 4.65 and net NPA was 1.23%. I must mention the absolute numbers just to ensure that everybody has a grip on the figures. As far as MSME is concerned, the net NPA absolute number was 0.65 crore. Microfinance gross NPA was 1.89, net NPA was 0. Micro loan, where we had significantly reduced the book, the gross NPA was 21.99%, net NPA was 11.01. But I must mention the absolute amount again here. The absolute amount of NPA, net NPA was 2.86 crores. Agri commodity, as usual, we don't have neither gross nor net NPA. We have provided the details of the portfolio and debt of the consolidated balance sheet. Our portfolio, as I mentioned, is 333.27 crore. Total term loan stands at 137 crore. Tier 2, 7-year debt is 48 crore. Total debt is 185 crore. DAPTC book stands at 57.83 crore. Our debt equity ratio on 30th June is 0.92. I had repeated time and again that we follow an extremely risk-averse conservative policy, and we didn't leverage at all during the current quarter, and we have been extremely cautious about leverage for the last almost more than a year now. The breakup of portfolio in microfinance is 58.32 crores of own portfolio and 29.33 crore of managed portfolio, making it a total of 187.65 crore. MSME own portfolio is 24.82 and managed 28.50, making a total of 53.32 crores. Microloan, the portfolio stands at 25.97 crore. There is nothing managed here. Agri and other loans stands at 66.33 crores. There is nothing managed here. The ratio between microfinance and other is microfinance 56% of the overall lending book, and others is 44%. We have also given business vertical-wise breakup of multiple parameters. I'll not waste time talking about those. Our Scalerator and Boombox, both the businesses, as I mentioned, were affected during the lockdowns, but they are picking up rapidly, and Scalerator has already once again broken even and started making money in the month of July itself. August also is looking good. As far as Boombox is concerned, the movement of goods became normalized in August, and they are also expecting good business from August onwards. I will, with all your permission, complete my monologue and will wait for questions, and will be happy to address them to the best of our capability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. A reminder to participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star and 1 at this time. The first question is from the line of Kapil Bhatt, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, hi Sudeep. My first question is a micro loan. So we have reduced the book on the micro loan. So what's the guidance for this year, 22? Are we going to start disbursing in micro loans, or are we going to wait for the RBI guidelines?
Kapil, hi. Thanks for joining. If you recollect, Kapil, since I think December quarter investor call, I've been saying we had this in 2 buckets. One is partnerships, which is the fintech partners, and the second was the RoboCash. We categorically mentioned that we'll exit the partnerships and focus completely on our own, which is RoboCash, which is what we have started doing from Jan quarter. And after that, in March call, we mentioned that we will progressively reduce the book, which is exactly what we did. As far as the future is concerned, the way we are looking at it, of course, we had actually started lending. We were lending up to, I think, 17th, 18th or 19th of April. Then we stopped from the RoboCash, which is our own platform. And we have restarted in a very calibrated manner in select geographies lending. There are two reasons, I would say. One is, as you rightly said, we are waiting for the RBI guidelines to come. And second, also the economy and the things to stabilize in a post-COVID world. As we all know, there is a lot of noise regarding Delta, third wave and all that. And we want to be a little careful here. So that's pretty much what it is. So very honestly, extremely difficult for me to give you a guidance on how the year will go. Again, honestly, it will depend on how the COVID behaves and how the economy, reacts. Assuming there is no COVID, assuming there is no disruption due to some RBI guideline which completely disrupts the business, I think we will continue normal pace of dispersal, and which is about 5-6 crores per month, let's put it this way, which initially, and which will go up to about 10-12 crore per month. But this is subject to so many things because we are in a really, really uncertain state as of now.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. My next question is on Boombox. So I think you said from August onwards we are making good business in Boombox. So I hope that momentum will continue. Again, as I said, provided we don't have the severe COVID. So are we also, so if things are normal, say for next of the year, are we planning to expand into other geographies with the Boombox, or are we going to hire more people, onboard more partners and so?
Kapil, you're right, and I think I will not unnecessarily waste time saying subject to COVID and this and that. That is, I think, understood by all. As things stand today, Boombox is working in 4 states primarily. It is working in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Bihar and Kerala. We will probably also start doing business in Chhattisgarh. Now, if you recollect in this business, we work with partners. Yes, there is a significant effort to increase the number of partners at this stage, and we will continue to focus. Unless there is a compelling reason, we will not like to expand beyond these states. Now, remember, these 3-4 states are also very big states for microfinance. And in Boombox, piggybacks on microfinance partners for the e-commerce, rural e-commerce. So we are very comfortable, and we believe that significant volume and business ramp up can happen from these 4-5 states. And our existing partners or the potential partners who we are talking to are also, very strong and dominant in these states. So as things stand today, I don't see any reason to expand beyond the existing states and only maybe Chhattisgarh, which is contiguous in a way to our existing geography. As far as hiring, it will not be a massive hiring. I think we are cautious in all our businesses and going to be so for the rest of the current fiscal. But yes, if there is critical gaps, let's say in Chhattisgarh we are going maybe few hirings there. And remember, this business doesn't require too many people in the state levels, because again, you piggyback on the microfinance partners. You need few guys to coordinate and few guys to work as relationship manager in the local geography where we are working. So that's about it, not a massive hiring.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. And I have one more question, if you can answer that. I want to understand the business model of insurance broking. So how do we generally work in this segment? Do we only target the corporate clients, or I think I saw somewhere in the presentation that we are also going to now reach to the retail customers. So how that currently works, and what are the plans for the insurance broking?
So insurance broking, Kapil, is growing. Forget what happened during COVID when there's a lockdown, but otherwise, I was trying to explain that. So the retail business operates through venue and point of sale. This is a IRDA approved, structure. So venue is where we invite people to visit our branches, and they are presented with the need for insurance. There's a financial planning done, and subsequently they are suggested buying of insurance and this and that. The entire conversation, everything gets recorded, so there is no mis-selling or anything. So this retail insurance selling is happening as we speak. We had launched it some time back. It's showing good signs of progress. Leave aside the COVID months. POS is where you appoint sub-agents. It's called point of sale. As an insurance broker, licensed insurance broker, you are allowed to appoint sub-agents, which is called not sub-agent but point of sale. And you procure business through them. You share revenues with them. So these are the two channels we are working on retail insurance. We also have received the IRDA approval for online insurance platform, and our platform is getting ready. Not that we will splash or do a big spending for popularizing that. We will not do that, but we will use it as a tool to facilitate our partners and businesses through this. Also, some of our a lot of business do come through the corporate channel, which is the corporate part of the business. That also is there, but these two are separate. One is a corporate vertical, the other is the retail vertical. We are very hopeful of growing both the verticals. Let's see. The business is profitable on a consolidated basis, retail plus corporate. We make a small amount of money. Hopefully, we will start making more money going forward.
Right, and I think at the moment we are only present in Delhi and Kochi, right? Or are we also
for corporate and Bangalore also? Delhi, Kochi, and Bangalore for corporate. And retail has offices in about 10 locations. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thanks, Sudip. Yeah, thank you. That's it from me.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star and 1 at this time. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. A reminder to participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Would like to remind participants that anyone who wishes to ask a question can press star and 1 on their phone. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one. A reminder to participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and one. If there are no more questions, then in the next 5 minutes we'll start with the closing process. Just a reminder to participants, anyone who wishes to ask question, please press star and one. Participants who wish to ask questions, please press star and one. A final reminder to participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one. We have got a question from the line of Kapil Bhatt, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Sudeep. So just one, follow-up question. In the last quarter, we did the provisions of, I think, around 33 crores. So, are there recoveries happening now? Are we getting the money back?
Well, Kapil, first quarter, everything was locked down. See, the recovery or whatever will happen from this quarter when things are open. If you recollect, April 6th, we closed in Bombay. And, this entire quarter has gone in lockdowns and this thing. So, recovering the existing instrument itself was next to impossible. So, past dues recovery and all that is... See, look, there is a big difference. I think you all are aware.
Yeah.
We may classify GNPA, NNPA, this, that and all, but actually this quarter, whatever has happened is not a default, it's actually a delay.
Yes.
Investors, it's a delay. So we have to, for accounting and for RBI and other purposes, will classify what they want us to classify as. But I don't think there is any challenge, fresh challenge. Let's see what happens. Of course, time will tell what it is.
Yeah, I think that's why even I was holding myself back. So asking this question, I think quarter two will be very interesting, and the things will be watched in quarter two. Yeah.
Yeah, God willing, quarter two and then 3 and 4. I mean, that's what will be important. We had taken a huge, significant provision and write-off in last quarter, which is Q4 of last year. But for this, this round of COVID, we were kind of okay. We didn't anticipate anything anymore. But now this COVID round has come, so we'll have to wait and watch. But things in August are looking much better. July itself was significantly better. Microfinance collected 93-94% of demand in July. MSME collected about 96% of demand in July. So trends were good in July. August till now has been even better. So let's keep fingers crossed and watch.
Right. And I think also in the presentation, I see that somewhere in the microfinance, we have reduced the head count. I can't find it now, but I think, was that the case?
Yeah, if you recollect, I mentioned also we did right sizing. See, what we saw is microfinance book has come down. Now the manpower has to be in proportion to the book size and also the potential book size. Because if you really see, last 18 months we are suffering from this COVID. We did make some disbursements during October, November, December, little bit, and then Jan, Feb we did good disbursal. Then March onwards again we slowed down. Now again we have started. Last month we did about 18 crore disbursal. This month hopefully we'll do about 50 crore. So, it's been a very truncated kind of a business. So we had reduced numbers, but God willing, as and when things pick up, if necessary, we'll increase numbers again. But there is no point carrying cost and creating a dent in P&L. So it's always better for everybody if we can manage costs.
Right. And is MSME also picking up now? And I think we changed the strategy from retail to wholesale. So is that benefiting?
Yeah, absolutely. In a big way. See, this is what I mentioned, that in spite of this COVID, 96% recovery last month. Yeah. And the month before also they were at 86%. So MSME collections have relatively been insulated because first COVID wave we decided to move out of retail. So we are predominantly lending to wholesale and manufacturing and other sectors, which to the best of our knowledge and info should not get hit by this COVID-induced lockdowns.
Right. So now we have completely stopped lending to Kirana shops and those grocery shops.
Yeah, for the time being, Kapil. Unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Okay. And that's okay. Yeah. Thanks for the
We are lending to medical shops. We are lending. You will understand the things which remain open in spite of lockdown.
Open. Correct. Yeah. That makes absolute sense. And even I think
provisions, groceries, medical. These are where we are lending. Wholesale we are lending. Manufacturing we are lending. Healthcare we are lending. So.
Okay. Yeah. That's good strategy. Yeah, and I think thanks for answering my questions, and we hope we see good recovery and good business in quarter two, and in quarter three as well. Yeah. So stay well. Take care of yourself and our staff. and the company. Yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you, Kapil. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and one on their phone. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one. As there are no further questions in queue, I hand the conference back to Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay for closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for joining this conference call. I hope you all are safe, and I request all of you to remain safe and secure. We are trying our best under the circumstances, and I'm sure you will join us in future to understand our business and our progress. Thank you all once again for joining us today. All the best.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Inditrade Capital, that concludes this conference call for today. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.